Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Jimmy Godard, and coming up in this video, we will have a conversation about an important topic. It is trust. I've worked with so many organizations and teams, local and abroad, and the word trust. Trust is your willingness to be vulnerable to another person's actions. Authenticity paves the way to trust. You and I, we are more likely, according to surveys, to trust someone who is authentic. Please check our previous video on authenticity. My friends, trust is not and should not be a one-way relationship. Can you trust your teammates? Can your teammates trust you? Trust within your team is the essential ingredient of leadership. As a leader, whether you are a CEO, a board president, a business manager, a project manager, and a team member, you're constantly evaluating your team's performance. That's a fact. But have you ever paused to consider a more fundamental question? As you evaluate your team, as you ask your team to deliver on milestones and goals and objectives, have you ever wondered, can your team truly trust you? Think about it. Without that bedrock of trust, even the most brilliant plans can crumble. Today, we are putting that crucial question under the microscope. Can your team trust you? Trust isn't just a feel-good buzzword. It connects, it strengthens, it supports high-performing teams. Trust is the confidence your team has in your competence, your integrity, and your genuine care for their well-being. My friends, when trust is strong, communication flows freely, risks are taken collaboratively, and productivity increases. Trust is the foundation upon which I will tell you this, that success of portfolios, of programs, of projects, and initiatives is built. We all want to work for authentic leaders. We all want to work for authentic leaders whom we can trust. However, can we be such authentic leader? Do you remember the last time you worked in a team where the morale was high? You had great collaboration, you challenged each other, and you won together? It felt good, right? I have been fortunate to lead several teams, local and abroad. And as such, I have remained great friends with my teammates, my colleagues, and yes, I can call them my friends. They could speak for me on any projects, and I could do the same for them. Believe me, it is a good thing. Trust each other, but it starts with you. Now, what happens when trust erodes? You see, when you're in an environment where there's no trust, it is easily detectable. You can see it in hesitant communication, team members operating in silos. You can see a reluctance to voice concerns or take ownership. When trust is lacking, morale plummets, innovation is stifled, and projects become bogged down in unnecessary bureaucracy and second guessing. Why? My friends, because everyone is focused about one thing, CYA. Cover your, you know what? And lack of trust creates fear and uncertainty. It shifts the focus from achieving goals to self-preservation. Unpredictable managers or leaders usually do not construct a trustworthy environment. Your team is most likely to respond to your cues. Does your action match what you say? Does what you say match what you do? Based on positive outcomes of repeated behaviors, Individual develop trust gradually over time. If your team knows you, they will know your behaviors. They will know your reactions. They will trust the interaction with you. So, how do you cultivate this essential element of trust? My friends, it starts with you. It starts with transparency. Are you open and honest with your team about project status, challenges, financial setbacks, and even your own mistakes? If you cannot stand before your team to say, I am sorry, how in the world do you expect them to trust you? Can your team hold you accountable? Have you ever asked your team once to hold you accountable for something that you've asked of them or you have promised them? My friends, it requires consistency. Do your actions consistently align with your words and commitments? What does not work is when your team members do something bad and you give them the silent treatment. What does not work is when you say you're going to do something and then you do not deliver and you come in the room with your shame turned into anger. What does not work is when you refuse to listen to your team members. Are you truly hearing your team's perspective and concerns? And crucially, trust involves demonstrating genuine care and respect for each individual, recognizing their contributions and supporting their growth. It is something that I find to be so prevalent in organization. When I'm doing workshops on vision and also strategy, that the regular team members oftentimes they are reluctant to voice their opinion because they say, my voice does not matter. And that is sad. I once held a workshop and I asked the whole team, can you share with me the vision for your team? Nobody could tell me what the vision was. I even went down, I said, you are all working on an initiative that is so important. Can you tell me what the vision is? One person stood up and told me, I know what my milestones are, but I don't know why I'm doing this. I once worked with a leader, let's call him John Doe. When John joined our team, things took a surprising turn. John joined us from another company that had a different culture of stepping over each other's or stepping over other people to get ahead. The atmosphere that John brought to our team shifted, and suddenly it creates divisions and distrust. My friend, and our daily interactions were no longer the way they used to be. Instead of collaborating, we started blaming each other, pointing fingers, and navigated a culture of secrecy and survival because John wanted it. It felt like we were drifting away from who we truly were as a team before John stepped his foot in our team. Now, to be fair, John wanted the projects to succeed. He genuinely thought that keeping us on edge would push us to achieve more with fewer resources. He even admitted to me that creating a little chaos every now and then would keep everyone on their toes. But the cost of this approach, it was steep. If you see shades of your own leadership style in John Doe, keep watching. We knew something was wrong. We knew we were changing and not for the better. Our culture had become unrecognizable. So we decided to take action. We began holding daily meetings that were open, honest, and real. We didn't shy away from sharing the setbacks alongside the wins. Taking responsibility became the norm. I led the team to remain vulnerable to each other and move away from pettiness to getting things done. And during one of these moments, my friends, I find myself at the crossroads with John. I vividly remember when John made a request that defied all logic, almost like asking 9 pregnant women to give birth in 1 month instead of the natural 9 month cycle. You know, you do the math. I sought permission to explain to John why this wouldn't work, knowing full well the risk involved. His response, you can share your thoughts at your own peril. Oh, my goodness. For some reason, John really touched that trigger in me. I knew I could lose my job for being upfront, but honesty, trustworthiness are my values, and I would not want to compromise those. And I took the leap. I started to share with John why you could not ask non pregnant women on 1 month to give birth. I told him what we attempted to do, what he was asking us, defy logic. But also, I shifted. A good friend of mine called my attention and reminded me it was not about having a conflict with John. It was about give John the reality. So I told him we would attempt what he asked for, but also I outlined the inevitable time it would take to fix the consequences of the decision. It was my way of saying no without outright saying no. So there's a way you can say no. So in other words, agree to whatever is unreasonable ask and mention the time it will take to fix it. And that's what I did. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I had to step up and tell the truth the way we know it was. So how did we claw our way back from the brink? It took dedication, risk to rebuild trust in our team. We kept those open meetings alive and made accountability a cornerstone of our culture. Despite John's heavy negative influence, we valued everyone's input, even when we disagreed, and moved forward as a united team. My friends, it takes 3 to 5% of people in an environment to shift the culture. It can start with you. I will tell you this. Slowly but surely, the atmosphere began to shift. People spoke up, people shared ideas, and people embraced collaboration like never before. In the project that seemed destined for failure, it recovered and soared beyond expectations, despite John being present. What John failed to realize, there's a true distinction between power and authority. John had the power. However, the authority lies within the team. The team decided to remain truthful. The team decided to remain united. And the team did so for the betterment of the project and the organization. Through this experience, my friend, I discovered one of the most important lessons of my professional journey. Trust is a powerful force. It's not something you can demand. Trust must be earned. Trust requires time, effort, and consistency. And while it's not a quick solution, it lays the groundwork for unlocking the full potential of a team. In the end, trust transformed everything: our morale, our productivity, and most importantly, our sense of purpose. Remember, my friends, trust isn't about asking people to believe in you. It's about showing them through actions that you're worthy of their trust. You can ask me how to build trust as a leader. How to build trust as a leader. Trust, as I mentioned, is the cornerstone of thriving teams in successful projects, initiatives, and endeavors. Here's how you can actively foster trust with your team and stakeholders starting today, and it's never too late to begin. First, be reliable. Actions speak louder than words. Show consistency and dependability in everything that you do. When you ask your team member you will support them, you do so. When you ask your team member you will back them up of a decision, do not wait when you meet your other stakeholders and you're going to shift your position within the meeting. That is lack of accountability. Be credible. Make your presence valuable. Show up with knowledge. Focus on facts and let your contributions be rooted in expertise instead of opinions. There's this wonderful saying I like to share with my team that's very known in the development world, the developers world. In God we trust. Everybody brings data. And God we trust. Everybody brings data. I trust your opinions when you show me you are credible by bringing the data that supports your opinion. Otherwise, it is an opinion. I'd rather you tell me you do not know instead of giving me some random opinions going through your head without the data to back it up. My friends, as I mentioned, you have to be reliable, you have to be credible, and you have to create connections. How are people going to trust you if nobody knows you? Take the time to get to know your teammates. Take the time to get to know people across the organization. Build authentic relationships is the key. Build authentic relationships, my friends, is the key. You cannot do it alone. You don't have all the access in your organization to get things done by yourself. And you should not have to manipulate people either. Just create authentic relationship in your organization to get things done on trust. Focus on the greater good. Shift the spotlight away from yourself by prioritizing the success of the project, by prioritizing the success of the initiative, the success of the team, the success of the organization as a whole. You will have issues with trust when it's all about you. It has to be about the team. Listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth. Are they about you or are they about the team, about the organization, about the project, about the initiatives? You can also read some books with your team on team building and trust. Find a list below that I've shared with you and share with us as well any good books that have helped you to be a trustworthy leader. While my team was navigating a tough chapter, a colleague of mine asked me, do we really need to trust each other to work together? What a wonderful question. Do we really need to trust each other to work together? My friends, what's your answer to that? My answer might surprise you. No, you don't need to trust each other to work together, but you absolutely need to trust each other if you want to thrive together. Trust is rare in toxic environments, yet people still manage to work side by side to get things done. They can be fake. Yes, you know the fake people. You know the people that you cannot trust. You know the people who say they are your friends and they're not your friends. You know people who listen to you at lunch, who talk with you, and what they're doing, they're collecting information to get the upper hands on you. Many political leaders use fear and not trust to get their ways. Niccolo Machiavelli famously wrote in The Prince, since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. And my friends, I rarely see an environment where where fear goes along with trust. Now, you can govern by fear. I'm not sure you can go far with fear instead of trust. Because, true growth, true collaboration, and thriving require a deeper level of trust. True growth, true collaboration, and thriving require a deeper level of trust. What is the spectrum of trust? Is trust? We just said, I trust you, you trust me, we trust each other, let's just live happily ever after. No, there is a spectrum for trust. My friends, you see, when we meet together for the first time, we oftentimes trust each other to do certain work. This is what we call swift trust. Swift trust forms quickly in temporary or high pressure settings, like disaster recovery or short term collaborations. It is fueled by shared goals and expertise rather than relationships. During the COVID pandemic or epidemic, Many teams get together on a very short amount of time to do the things that were incredible. They relied on swift trust to get the things done. Again, professionals in a disaster recovery team trust each other's ability even if they have not met before. This is not deep trust. This is swift trust. Swift trust. Then, as we start working together, we have what we call conditional trust. This trust depends on specific circumstances. For instance, I can trust you as a colleague. I can trust your ability to complete your task, but keep my personal matters to myself. A lot of you do that. You go to work, you trust your coworker, but you don't tell them everything that happened in your household, what you did over the weekend. You have a very superficial relationship, but you trust your coworker to deliver. Now, we go with swift trust. We proceed to conditional trust. And then we have what we call full trust. Full trust in a coworker's ability to consistently deliver, doing what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, and how they're supposed to do it. My friends, that is what we call full trust. Full trust is when I can trust you. I can share my thoughts. I can share my insights with you. And I know it stays between us because I was being vulnerable to thank you. I was being vulnerable to share with you what I was thinking, and you not to say what I was thinking and misconstrue it for your own gain. Full trust is when that relationship between us is safe for me to tell you, I hear what you're saying. I have some apprehension about what you do, what you want to do. Nonetheless, I support you. And I can ask you, why are you doing this? And you can share with me, and I can support you or I can provide you my insight. But yet, we are doing it to support our team in our organization. Mistrust happens when doubts creep in, leading to the hesitation about you thinking about your thoughts about my reliability or my honesty. You might mistrust me because I miss deadlines, but you aren't yet convinced I'm not reliable. That is mistrust. Mistrust is not that I don't trust you. Mistrust is because you've done something or you did not do something you're about to do, and I don't know why. Therefore, I have my guards up. So I don't fully trust you, but I don't distrust you. I'm not saying I don't trust you. I'm just saying I trust you. I have limited trust in you. My friends, we call that mistrust. Again, we have swift trust when we get together. We have conditional trust when we start getting to know each other. We have full trust when we get it. And then when we start not showing up, we have mistrust. And following mistrust, we have what we call distrust. And distrust is the complete lack of confidence in someone, often rooted in negative past experiences. For example, you refuse to work with someone who deceived you before. Your guards are up. And that, my friend, the glass is shattered. You will never be able to put that back together. You can try to earn, you can try to earn that person's trust again, but that trust will never be back the way it was. Now, not forever. It will take time, but don't expect it to tomorrow. Don't expect, hey, you know what? I apologize. Get over it. Now you can trust me. It doesn't work that way. Okay? It does not work that way. Even if the person say, okay, I trust you. Nah, it doesn't work that way. Don't forget, there is that spectrum of trust, if you will, that people often go through. So, when you say you trust someone or you do not trust someone, there is much more behind that sentence. Ultimately, your ability to lead hinges on whether your team trusts you. Trust, again, is not something you demand. It is something you earn. It grows through actions, transparency, and a genuine commitment to the success of your team. Now, I challenge you. Reflect on one action you can take this week to strengthen trust within your team. My friends, thank you for staying up to the end to listen to this wonderful conversation, this wonderful topic of trust. Please share your ideas in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. If this message resonates with you, do us a favor, share it with three people who you think might benefit from hearing it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights on becoming an impactful leader. May I trust you with that? Together, we will unlock your team's full potential. You've got this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, you manage tasks, but you lead people.